Podcast. It's your host, Brian, going solo on this Friday edition. Welcome in, guys. Hope you've had a fantastic week. We are headed into the weekend, which means more college football, and it means more NFL football. We had a game last night we're going to get into here. We got the top 5 games of the week headed into week 2 for you. We got to look into the NCAA games, and we got, of course, the headlines of the week coming up. Right after this, guys. All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome in. So glad you could join me here on a Friday afternoon. I am doing this a little early, but when I'm able to podcast by myself, I like to get it out of the way. Not get it out of the way, but do it a little earlier so I have time with the family later on and go to bed early for my job. But we got the top 5 games of the week coming up. The Chargers and Chiefs last night. Great, fantastic game. I'm wondering how you guys liked the Amazon look. How did you guys like it? I wasn't able to watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight or tomorrow. I'll probably watch it tomorrow, actually. But they were talking about on the radio today that they had some interesting things. First of all, you got new announcers. I really like Kirk Herbstreit. I think it is a fantastic job of college. I'm interested to listen to that and see how he does. But I heard him and Al Michaels, and Al Michaels is a legend. Heard them two did really, really good last night in a broadcast booth. But they have these trackers in their jerseys they were talking about, and I think that's pretty cool. And they were giving you stats like that you wouldn't have on a normal broadcast. They would give you stats as in how much separations are the wide receiver getting, and that's fantastic. And if they can do stuff like that and give us new things like that, I think it's going to be a big hit. Now, the biggest question to me is, do you have Amazon Prime? I think a lot of America does. I mean, I have Amazon Prime. I order from Amazon. Use them all the time. So this works. And my question I had with this, and I think a lot of people had questions about it, and I just figured it out when I got home from work, is if it's only on Amazon Prime, every Thursday night game. Now last night, remember, or last week, opening week, they didn't want the opening game just to be limited to those that had Amazon Prime. So that game was for everyone to see. Now we start the Amazon Prime games going forward. So go sign up. Amazon Prime is $10 a month, and it's free shipping on your Amazon stuff. Amazon Prime, for you that don't know, comes with your Amazon subscription. Or when you subscribe to Prime, you get free shipping, and then you also get to watch the TV. They have stuff so you can go and watch shows and stuff like that. Some people don't know that. Some people don't know that Amazon has all that, but they do. And but to me, it's going to be worth it just to get the football on Thursday nights. But I'm wondering how many of you actually liked it. And I was going somewhere with my thought, and then I got interrupted by all that, or interrupted with the side thing there. But I'm gonna watch it. But I answered the question of you can't record on Amazon, right? So I'm like, how am I supposed to watch this game if I can't watch it live? And it is on demand the next day. So I came home and I looked it up and researched it, and you can watch a replay of the game the next day. So that's fantastic news for you, for those of you that, like me, who can't watch them live most of the time because of my work schedule. So I'm able to come back and watch it the next day. I'm probably going to watch it tomorrow during the day and see how it is. But Chiefs almost lost that one. Chargers almost won that one. Herbert got hurt there at the end, and he had the rib injury, and a 99-yard interception return there helped Kansas City pull this off. The takeaways from this, the thing that's great from this is the Chargers look good. And I think if you're a Chargers fan after going into Kansas City, a hostile environment, and only losing by 3, and you really should have won the game, but only losing by 3, you held Mahomes. He didn't throw 5 touchdown passes and go off. So Herbert looked good. I think that gives you some really exciting exciting things to look forward to. And this was a big game for the Chargers. It would have been a huge win if they could have pulled it off, but they didn't. Kansas City starts off 2-0, and they look like one of the most dominant teams, if not the most, in the NFL, as they are playing on fire right now. And they beat a good team, and they blew it up opening week. So, that would be game 1. Was last night. Game 2, I couldn't find you 5 really good games. I found you 4. Game 2 is Monday Night Football. And Monday Night Football, you got Minnesota traveling to the Eagles. And this one's interesting, okay, because the Vikings are a good football team. And they got a new head coach, and they had a really good game plan for Green Bay, and they executed, and they stomped our butts, and we'll get into Green Bay here in a little bit. But the Vikings are a good football team. They will compete with Green Bay for the division. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that. The Eagles were not very good last year. There was a lot of hype. They had a really good draft. They brought in some pieces as an AJ Brown. Can Hurts, get to where he needs to be and take the next step. And the Eagles looked pretty good the opening week. Their defense could have done better, but their offense was pretty good. It started off slow, but they put up 38 points on the road. That's pretty good for an offense, okay? And you got 2 teams that people don't believe are going to win the division. Well, now that Dak Prescott's hurt, maybe you believe the Eagles will win the division, which I do think so now. But going into each year, we kind of accept that Green Bay is going to win the North, and we kind of accept that the Dallas Cowboys, as long as they're healthy, should win the NFC East. Well, you got 2 teams that are trying to take that throne over and say, hey, we're here. We're going to compete. We're going to fight for our division, and this is the year. And I think Minnesota's got to be excited. I think their head coach called a fantastic game plan against us, and I think they look really good. The Eagles look pretty good. So you got that matchup going in there. I picked the Chiefs to win the Chargers game, so I started off the week 1-0 there. So this game, I'll have to look it up and see who I picked, because that's so much of a coin toss that it is. I might have picked either one. I picked the Vikings to win this one. That's right. I picked the Vikings to win this one. And I think it could go either way. Honestly, 50-50. You got 2 teams out to prove themselves and you got Kirk Cousins is the better quarterback. So I think that's kind of why I went with them. They have a better wide receiver group altogether. It's just, does Kirk Cousins show up? He doesn't show up usually on night games, but I think the head coach will get him in a good place and have a good game plan set up for him. I got the Vikings winning this one, but that is going to be a good game on Monday night, so check that one out. And then you got the Bucs. You got Tom Brady going into New Orleans to play the Saints. He does not do good versus the Saints. And this one's an interesting game because of that fact. He does not play well against the Saints. He's going into New Orleans. The Saints kind of have his number. Now you got a new head coach there. And the Saints were the Saints started off the season on they came back and won the game, but they should never been down to Atlanta. They didn't play a full game, and they're going to have to play a full game to be able to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to have to play a full 4 quarters there to win. And I think going into this, they've got to get pressure on Tom Brady, and it's not the Saints' defense I'm worried about; it's their offense I'm worried about. And can they score? Can Jameis Winston, um, make the right decisions, not turn over the football? So this one will be a good game. I think the Bucks will win this game, and Tom Brady gets over the hump of beating the Saints because he doesn't do very good against them. But I got the Bucks in this one. That's the third game this week. I think is pretty good. And then you got the Dolphins and Ravens, and this one's pretty interesting. This could go either way. The Dolphins are here to prove themselves. They've got a lot to prove. Tua's got a lot to prove if he's the guy. They've added a lot of additions to the offseason. Miami got the 20-7 win last week against the Patriots. They're going to go play a little more tough of a team here. The Ravens, Baltimore was able to pick up the victory last week against the Jets, but they played the Jets. So they really didn't play nobody. They didn't play nobody worth putting an effort in. And the Ravens are going to have to put an effort in against Miami. And I have the Ravens winning this one. I think Craig picked the Dolphins. And this defense is going to be a challenge for Lamar Jackson. And this should be a pretty hard-fought game. They usually play each other pretty good. The Dolphins are usually that team that's a thorn in the Patriots' side. Even when the Patriots were really good, they were that thorn on their side. So I'm interested to see this one. I think Tua struggles, though, against the Ravens defense, and I feel like the Ravens pull this off with Lamar Jackson. But I'm not a big believer in any one of these two teams being a true contender at the end of the year. But those are the top games for the week. I couldn't find you a fifth one. I mean, we can look at it real quick here. I couldn't really find you a fifth one. You got the Jets and Browns, not good. Detroit, Washington, not good. Jacksonville, Indy should win that one. You got the Giants, Panthers, nope. Steelers, Patriots, nope. Rams, Atlanta, nope. Seattle and the 49ers might be interesting. That was also a coin flip for me because of the fact that you've got Trey Lance. And that's just enough to know whether or not they're going to be able to beat Seattle. Seattle came out and played really good against the Denver Broncos. Broncos shot themselves in the foot here opening week, but we'll see if Geno Smith can have a good game. He's going up against a tough defense. He went up against a tough defense last week too, but you got Cincinnati and Dallas. That would have been a good one if Dak Prescott was playing, but he's not. You got Denver and Houston, easy. Chargers and Cardinals. I guess you could say that. Not Chargers and Cardinals. Raiders and Cardinals. That should be pretty entertaining. I could put that. Was going to be our number 5. I got the I don't know. I keep calling them the Chargers. The Raiders. I got the Raiders winning this game. I'm not a big believer in Arizona. I think they're going to flop this year, miss the playoffs. Derek Carr is going to not turn over the football. He threw the 3 interceptions last week. Did not look very good. I think they come in, they win this game, and start off season 1-1. And Arizona's probably questioning themselves after this second loss of the season. Bears and Packers play on Sunday night, and then you got a doubleheader on Monday. Which is interesting because one game starts at 6:15 and one game starts at 7:30. So they're going to be going on at the same time. You got Buffalo and Tennessee, and then you got Philly and Minnesota. And I'm not a big believer in Tennessee. That's why I don't think that game's going to be very good. I think Buffalo is going to destroy them as well. So those are my top games for the week. For week 2 in the NFL. Let's look at the NCAA schedule because there's not a lot of great games going into this week. You might be able to find some good games, but when you look at the matchups in the top 25, it doesn't look all that great. And let's see. Scroll down here. The best game when you got top 25 is probably BYU at 12 versus Oregon at 25. And BYU took down Baylor last week. They were able to jump up to number 12. And Oregon got dominated against Georgia week 1. I'm not sure what they did last week. Probably not much. I don't know much about them. I don't think they're going to be that good. But Bo Nix is their quarterback. Wasn't a big fan of him in Auburn, so I'm not a big fan of Oregon, but can BYU go on the road and get another big win and against a ranked team? And on the road, and they were at home when Baylor came into town. But Baylor was number 9, they were number 21, I believe. So they jump up to number 12. Oregon's at 25. So that one's the two team that the two top rated top 25 teams going against each other. You got LSU and Mississippi State, Wake Forest and Liberty. Ohio State's playing Toledo. Oklahoma State's number 8 is playing Arkansas Pine Bluff. Missouri State and Arkansas might be decent. You got, there's really no other key matchups that are just like, oh man, I gotta watch you. One more is Miami versus Texas A&M, number 24. Miami's 13, and this is in Texas A&M, and this is one that Texas A&M needs. It's going to be 8:00 on ESPN Saturday night. It's probably the game I'm going to watch. They need this one. They lost last week to Appalachian State. Their offense looked lethargic. They could not get anything going. And Miami's won 2 in a row. They're here to prove that they're a good football team. And if they're able to beat Texas A&M, they might move into the top 10 if they do on the road. So we'll see what happens there. Should be a pretty good game to watch out for. Other than that, it's not a really great college football weekend. As far as matchups go, you've got Oklahoma number 6 versus Nebraska. Nebraska's fired Scott Frost. So let's see if they can beat Oklahoma at home and show them there. But other than that, it's looking like a lot of blowouts this weekend, unfortunately. But Notre Dame, where did Notre Dame fall to? I saw them. They're probably unranked at this point. Yeah, they're unranked. So we'll see. They're playing California, and California could definitely beat them. Notre Dame lost their quarterback for months. So we'll see. Maybe that's what they needed. Maybe they needed a change because this is not a very good start for Notre Dame at all. So that's your NCAA schedule going into this week. And like I said, hopefully some good games come on. But I think it's probably going to be a lot of blowouts. You've got the headlines of the week. Texas Longhorns, it came out today that they spent $280K on recruiting trip when Manning came into town. It wasn't only Manning, but Arch Manning was the big thing. And this was put out on ESPN like it was a bad thing, right? Why is that a bad thing? They won, right? It might be a bad thing if they spent all that money and didn't get Arch, but Arch is coming there. So that's a good thing for the Texas Longhorns. That's a great thing for them. That shows you that they're doing what it takes to get that guy there, to prove that they're going to they don't care. They're going to spend some money, that they make billions. They're going to spend some money to get these guys here, and that's a good thing for the Texas Longhorns. It shows that this organization, that this college cares about winning football games. I don't know why it would be a bad thing. Even if they didn't get Arch Manning, it's like, well, heck, we spent a lot of money. We tried our best, and he picked somewhere else. But I think it's a good thing for Texas. I think Texas might be back. They said it a couple years ago, and they weren't back. All right, but Texas might be back. Quentin Ewers looks really good. If he stayed in the Alabama game, I really do think they win that one. But the defense looks good with Gary Patterson coming from TCU to help out on that defense. If that defense plays that way all year, they're going to be a competitive team in the end. So we'll see what happens there. Not talking playoffs here with only 4 teams. We'll get a 12-man team, hopefully by 2024 is what they're shooting for. 2026 at the latest. And a team like Texas could get into the playoffs at that point. And they might get in there this year, but or they might get in there next year. I don't think they're going to get in there this year, but they might get in there next year. We'll see. But if they're going to play defense like that, and they're going to get quarterback play like Quentin Ewers like that, and they're going to be able to compete consistently, that's the biggest word there is consistently, because something they really haven't done in the past. Um, but that's good news. And you got Arch Manning coming, which is even better. So look out for Texas. But I think it's a fantastic thing. And we just talked about the Texas A&M looking lethargic on the offensive side of the ball, and they are changing their quarterback. They're to start quarterback Max Johnson versus Miami over Haynes King. And I kept hearing things about King, kept hearing that he's talented and very good. And then I went and watched them play last week, and I didn't go to the game. I would turn on the TV and watch them play. And my gosh, he looked pathetic. He could not make a pass. He was overthrowing people, underthrowing people. It didn't look like he was very confident in the decisions he was making. And I was like, man, this is the guy that's supposed to be really good. Maybe in a couple years, yes, but right now he's not. And I think making a switch is something the team might need to be more consistent with their offensive side of the football. Max Johnson could come in here and hopefully give them that consistency that they need to win. So we'll see there. It's not a good start there for Texas A&M, but Miami is going to come in hungry. Miami's going to come in, and they're going to have to be able to make drives down the field and keep the ball. And that's where they lost last week, is they didn't. The time of possession was way over on the other side. So we'll see if that helps them out in winning a football game. The other headline, the last headline I got for you is NBA owner. The NBA owner, what's his face? I didn't look up his name. For the Suns, he got fined and suspended. Robert Sarver, there it is. Sorry, should look that up beforehand. But Robert Sarver gets this 1-year suspension and a $10 million fine for his racial and misogynistic conduct. And this one is he got a slap on the wrist. For something that he should have been fired for. He should have been forced to sell the team. You cannot be be racist and misogynistic and any of that stuff and own a franchise. You're a real piece of crap if you're either one of those. I don't know, because the NFL came out, or not the NFL, NBA came out and said they can't force them to sell a team, but they did force someone to sell a team, and I think it's a slap in the face or a slap on the wrist, and it's just not good look for the NBA, who apparently has a no, they come out and say they have a zero tolerance policy, but this is tolerance, right? They're going to let this guy run a team who's been racial, made some racial remarks, and been misogynistic, and you're going to let this guy still continue to run the team. Well, those things are going to continue to happen. It's not like this guy's going to change. It's not like this guy's going to think, I didn't do anything wrong. He's going to think that he didn't do anything wrong, and he's just getting punished, and it is what it is. But you cannot let this guy continue to do that. You can't. You cannot continue to let him run a team. They're going to. Maybe he steps down. The other part owner of the Suns says, he's urging him to sell the team. The Suns, I just looked it up all go before I jumped on, they're going to lose sponsors. And they're saying, until this guy's off the team, I'm not going to be a sponsor if he's still there. You cannot be a piece of crap and run a team. And there's a lot of piece of craps that run a team, but you cannot have all this come out against you and still run a team. You just can't. And I think eventually he'll get what's coming to him. I think eventually he probably does step down or sells his part and goes away. Daniel Snyder with the Redskins. they're thinking about him probably losing his team. And you got these guys that think because they're rich, they can do whatever they want. And you got people that are speaking up against that now. And that's good for those that are speaking up against it. And um, these things should not happen. But we know they do, unfortunately. A slap on the wrist and a $10 million fine, which is the most they can fine him, um, is nothing for this guy who's almost a billionaire. So think about it. Think what you will about it. Make your own opinion on it, but I just think it's wrong. I think they should force him to sell the team. And I think, the punishment, I'm not sure how the punishment system works in the NBA. Like the NFL was Roger Goodell, judge, juror, and execution. Now they brought in a third party arbiter, and they do things a little different, which I think is good for the NFL. I'm not sure who has final say. I'm not sure if it's, you know, Mark's. Not sure. I'm bad with names today. I'm not sure if it's the NFL owner or NBA owner. Adam Silver. That's right. I'm thinking old school. I'm not sure if Adam Silver has the 100% say in it, or if this is something that they kind of talk to all the owners about and see what they kind of want to do. But this to me is they're protecting their other owners, because if they're going to start, just making owners get rid of their teams, and then the other owners are probably going, "Oh man, what if this comes out? Oh man, um, we shouldn't want them to force us to sell our team, so we're going to go a little light on this punishment." And that's something that's definitely a possibility, but we'll see what happens by before the NBA season, and we'll see if he either resigns, steps down. This is going to cost his son some money. Going to cost him some sponsors big time. But that's what he gets for being a racist, misogynistic piece of crap. Another big thing too is there's no real evidence of, like, there's no voice recordings, and they didn't have a video of all this coming down. So they had those on the other guy that they forced out. So that's a big issue too. They didn't have those things. So trying to find out if there's anything else. You got, Herbert sustained the rib injury, and he's getting X-rays. With those X-rays that haven't come back yet. I don't. Hopefully, it won't be any long-term injury or anything like that. But he was able to continue to play in the game and toughen it out. So we'll see what happens there. I lost in my survivor pool last week. The freaking Giants. I picked the Titans to beat the Giants. And I figured that was an easy pick, right? No one thought that the Giants were going to beat the Titans. No one thought they were. So, but man, was I wrong. I think it was one of the craziest opening weeks as far as trying to project who's going to win in the NFL that I can remember. And week one's a hard week to pick. Week two, I'll probably go with the Rams. It's a safe bet since they're playing the Falcons. They should win that one easily. But I might go with Cleveland, because Cleveland's playing the Jets, and I think Jacoby Brissett is good enough to beat the Jets. So I might go with them, but I haven't really selected yet. I think I'll probably go with the Rams. Pick a team that's really good, just to get that safe bet of I'm going to win this week and move on. But we'll go from there and see. Spotlight of the week, guys. I have had a pretty good work week. Everything went really well for me, so I was able to get off at a decent times this week. And I went out last night to watch Logan play. Logan, he's in high school. He's a sophomore. He plays football for Halton City, and I went to watch him last night play Keller Central, and they whooped their butt 44-6. He had a pretty good game. the offense was killing it, man. The offense is killing it. And then I stopped by this place called BB's Burger Shack, and I'm gonna do a outspoken reviews on them. But my gosh, they were fantastic. It's a little burger shack place off of Beach and Western Center in Fort Worth. It's where BurgerFi used to be. I went and had that burger, and it's probably my best burger I've had um, around. And my other favorite burger was Five Guys. This one blows it out of the water. So go check them out. They're called BB's Burger Shack. They're really good. They have some interesting burgers. Um, they have obviously shakes. It's in the name. The shake was okay. They have crinkle cut fries, which were nothing, special. Crinkle cut fries is probably the way to go. They have some other specialty fries. I did not get those, but the burgers were fantastic. The kind of meat they use, the smash burgers with the cheese and with their BB sauce, it's really really good. So go check it out if you're hungry for a burger. And we got family coming over on Sunday. I'm going over to my buddy's house, Brandon, Sunday night to watch the Bears Packers game. He is a Bears fan, so we get together and we will watch them together and watch the Bears beat or watch the Packers beat the Bears this Sunday. So, um, I kind of wanted to go on a rant about the Packers, and I know some of you aren't Packer fans, but I'm going to go on a rant. So the NFL Prime, our NFL Plus. I am a NFL Plus member, and I jumped on that this year because you get the all 22 after the games and the next day. So I went back and watched the all 22 of the Packers Vikings game, and I only watched the Packers on offense because there was questions about Aaron Rodgers was holding on to the ball too long. Aaron Rodgers didn't look for the rookie wide receivers. Aaron Rodgers, this and then people said, "Oh, the rookies didn't get open, and the O line was bad, and Rodgers didn't have time." So I went and watched the all 22 to see what was true, right? To go back and see everyone on the field, and um, which is a great thing. If you don't have it, it's fantastic, and it's only an hour and 5 minutes. Football games are 3 hours, 3.5. But the all 22 it's 1 hour and 5 minutes, and it's every play. There's no commercials. There's no commentating. There's no sound at all. You just get to watch and pause and kind of take notes about it. But from what I took away from it, there's a little bit of everything. There's plays where Aaron Rodgers missed wide open wide receivers. There's plays where the O-line did not protect very well. There were plays where Aaron Rodgers held on to the ball for way too long. There were plays where no one was open, so Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do with the football. This loss is really on the coaching staff. I think it was a bad game plan going into this game, and I usually don't say that about Matt LaFleur. Usually it's a good game plan, and usually it's this, but we're dealing with a new offensive coordinator this season. Our other offensive coordinator went over to Denver and cost him a chance at a football game last week. But it was a bad game plan on defense and offense. Our offense, there's plays where they're trying to set up too deep of routes. These wide receivers are doing double moves on the outside. They're running these long routes, and I'm like, our offensive line's beat up. Why aren't we trying to run these long routes? We don't have the time to do that. With our offensive line being suspect right now. We did not go to Aaron Jones and Dylan like we said we were going to. I think Jones just touched the ball 10 times. We did not go to them as much as we said we were going to. And defensively, we ran a zone all day when we were getting slaughtered, and we didn't make any adjustments, which is ridiculous. We got guys on the back end that last year they rated highly in single coverage, and we decided to not use them for that. We decided to play zone coverage. We decided to not let her shut down corners, shut down their best wide receiver. It was a bad game plan, and there was a lot of things that all went bad into it. So I'm not going to sit here and kill Aaron Rodgers for holding on to the ball too long. I will criticize him, though. I'm not afraid to do that. There's some Packer fans out there on Packer pages that won't criticize Aaron Rodgers, and it's ridiculous. He deserves the blame as much as anybody. He's got to go back to rookie wide receivers if they drop a pass. The first pass of the game, look for a touchdown, and Christian Watson dropped the pass. He didn't go back to Watson, and he can't do that. He's got to drop his ego, and that's hard for him to do. And what's funny is he's Zen, talks about Zen and doing all these stuff, but that doesn't work on the field. You're not very Zen on the field. So it's ironic and hilarious, but our offensive line's gonna block better. He can't hold on to the ball for 10 to 12 seconds. I'm not blaming our rookie wide receivers for not getting open. I'm blaming the coach for not calling a better game plan to get them open, running smaller routes and shorter routes, running crossing routes. They were running deep down the field, and we didn't have time to set up plays. So I think if going back and looking at the all 22 of it gave me a good perspective of the game that I didn't get to see. So that I know, trust me, I watched the game, but I mean, I didn't get to see where everyone was on the field. And I think, and I wish they would do the Madden view on the games where it's above the quarterback, straight on. You can see everything going on. I love that view. I wish they would do it. But I think NFL Prime is worth it if you don't have, if you want the all 22 film, and that's what I did it for. Can go and watch the plays I want to watch, and it's only an hour and 5 minutes of my time. Which, if you're only looking, I would took me about 30 minutes yesterday. I only looked for the Packers offensive plays. So, NFL Plus is pretty good if you're going off of that. But all right, guys. Well, that is the episode today. The Friday's edition is going to be a little bit shorter since it's only me and not anybody else to talk to. Jeff will be on when he can. He's dealing with some issues right now. So he might not be on for a little bit, but you got me on Friday. You got me and Craig on Tuesday. And actually next Friday, Craig will be on. They play a game. He plays Friday Night Lights on Thursday next week. So he'll be able to be on the podcast. So look forward to that. Other than that, guys, God bless, take care, and remember to keep it outspoken.